"Nothing is impossible. You just haven't found the way yet." This phrase carries within it a powerful truth, a reminder that barriers are often just puzzles we haven't solved, challenges we haven't fully understood, and journeys whose paths remain hidden in the fog of uncertainty. Throughout history, human beings have confronted the seemingly impossible. Mountains, both literal and metaphorical, have loomed before us, daring us to turn back or surrender. Yet, time and again, it is those with unwavering persistence and resourcefulness who discover that what once blocked their path can instead become a pedestal from which to reach even greater heights. Imagine, for a moment, a world before flight. For centuries, the sky appeared out of reach, the clouds a distant dream. People watched birds soar and wondered, could we ever leave the Earth? The answer came not because the laws of physics changed, but because inventors like the Wright brothers refused to accept impossibility as a final verdict. With each crash and setback, they learned, adjusted, and persevered. Eventually, they unlocked the secrets of controlled flight. What was once dismissed as pure fantasy became an everyday reality, forever altering the trajectory of human progress. This lesson is echoed in countless other stories, of explorers charting unknown seas, of scientists peering through telescopes into the vast cosmos, of artists daring to create what the world deemed unimaginable. The thread weaving these tales together is not the absence of difficulty, but a steadfast belief that a solution exists, a belief that all obstacles are temporary, while human ingenuity is boundless. When you encounter something that feels impossible, consider for a moment what is truly standing in your way. Are you blocked by a lack of knowledge? Perhaps what you need is to learn a new skill, gather more information, or seek advice from someone more experienced. Sometimes the missing piece is patience, a willingness to keep going despite repeated setbacks and slow progress. Other times, the solution requires creativity, reimagining the problem, approaching it from a radically different angle, or combining ideas from unrelated fields. History is filled with striking examples of this mindset in action. In the early 20th century, doctors believed that infectious diseases like polio and measles were insurmountable threats. Yet, scientists who refused to accept this status quo committed themselves to relentless research. Their efforts culminated in the development of vaccines, saving millions of lives and transforming public health around the globe. What was once considered a permanent scourge became, through human determination and discovery, a conquerable foe. The natural world offers its own lessons in perseverance. Rivers carve their way through solid rock, mountains are worn down by the persistent touch of wind and rain, and plants twist toward the sun against impossible odds. Nature is patient, adaptable, and always seeking a way forward. We can draw inspiration from this steady, tireless pursuit of progress. Often, our perception of what is possible is shaped by the limitations we accept without question. We internalize the doubts of others, the constraints of current technology, or the apparent rules set by tradition. But every breakthrough begins with someone willing to ask, what if? What if things could be different? What if the limits we see are only temporary boundaries waiting to be crossed? Consider Thomas Edison, who famously tested thousands of materials before finding the perfect filament for a practical electric light bulb. Each failed experiment was not an endpoint, but a step closer to success. Edison understood that failure is not the opposite of progress. It's an essential part of it. Every attempt unraveled a bit more of the mystery, helping illuminate the path ahead. In our own lives, the things we describe as impossible are often the result of fear, doubt, or incomplete information. We may look at successful people and assume they possess some secret advantage, but in truth, their success often stems from the same place as anyone's: persistence, adaptability, and the belief that a solution can be found. Every innovation, from the smartphone in your pocket to life-saving medical treatments, began as an idea dismissed by some as impossible. Progress depends upon people who refuse to give up when the way forward is unclear. It requires curiosity, an eagerness to ask questions and explore alternatives. It demands courage, the willingness to risk failure in pursuit of something greater. The journey to overcoming the impossible is rarely a solitary one. Collaboration fuels creativity and multiplies potential solutions. When we share our goals, struggles, and discoveries, we invite others to lend their perspective and expertise. Together, we can pool our knowledge, support each other through setbacks, and celebrate the breakthroughs that emerge. In this way, the impossible becomes not a solitary battle, but a shared quest. In everyday life, these principles matter as much as they do in grand historical achievements. If you dream of writing a book, launching a business, or mastering a new skill, remember that obstacles are part of the process, not a signal to stop, but an invitation to grow. Rather than saying, "I can't," ask, "How might I?" Seek out new strategies, break big problems into smaller pieces, and give yourself permission to make mistakes. Often, the solution is just around the corner, discovered not by extraordinary luck, but by ordinary persistence. Life's greatest rewards are reserved for those who keep searching even when the answer isn't obvious. When inspiration wanes and challenges multiply, remind yourself that discovery is rarely easy or straightforward. The winding path may test your resolve, but it also shapes you into someone capable of achieving more than you once thought possible. So, when faced with the impossible, take a breath. Remind yourself that your journey is unique and that each setback is simply a lesson in disguise. The ways forward may not be visible yet, but they exist, waiting for those with the patience and vision to find them. Nothing is impossible, you just haven't found the way yet. Keep going, keep asking, and you may be surprised one day to find that you too have accomplished what once seemed out of reach.